you ever notice how every year around this time, life speeds up when you actually just want some peace and quiet? Suddenly, your calendar is packed again with deadlines for closing out Q4. Maybe you have some family obligations, travel plans that need your coordination, and maybe you're hearing people talk about holiday parties and New Year's goals, but it's only October. Listen, you want to be grateful, optimistic, and focused, but what you're really feeling is tired. Not physically tired, but you're emotionally tired. You're managing everyone else's expectations while trying to make sense of your own. And even if you genuinely love your life, there's this feeling in your gut that says, I want this season to feel different. If that's you right now, stay with me. I'm Davina Dandridge, author of Brains and Baubles, Do What Works for You, and creator of the Emotional Sophistication Map and the Self-Gut Check Method. This is Brains and Baubles Live, where we help high-functioning women move through life with emotional strategy, self-respect, not burnout or guilt for just choosing yourself. And before we go further, let me say this. I'm not a therapist. I'm a woman who has had to navigate these same seasonal transitions while running a business, leading a family, and trying to keep my emotional peace from completely disappearing. So let's talk about what's really happening underneath all of this busyness. Fall season is a transition season. Everything in nature is slowing down naturally. But people, especially women, we're speeding up. We start overfunctioning right when what we really need is time for reflection. That's why I call this period the emotional pivot. It's when the world gets louder and there are some unreasonable expectations that's weighing on you, and your emotional peace requires an actual plan. If you don't reset your emotions now, you'll drag all this exhaustion, all this resentment, and self doubt straight into the next season. Here's what the emotional reset looks like for sophisticated women. It's not bubble baths and candles, I can tell you that. It's real composure under pressure. And it starts with reset number one: scheduled silence. You can't hear yourself when everything around you is loud all the time. Even if you can't take a full day off, schedule just 5 minutes of silence at the start or the end of the day. And this is not for meditation, it's not for journaling, it's just for silence. Turn off everything. No music, no notifications on your phone. Just sit there long enough to hear your own thoughts. Silence tells you the truth about what you need and what you've been avoiding about your emotions. If quiet makes you uncomfortable or you think it's a waste of time, that's just the emotional detox happening in real time. You're feeling it. It's your nervous system learning what peace feels like. Reset number two: practice the self gut check. When life gets heavy, your emotions start working overtime without you even noticing it's happening. Before you get off into overthinking and regret, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what emotion is driving me right now? What is the emotion trying to protect? And then what action actually serves me in this moment? That's the self gut check, my real time process for emotional strategy. Because if you don't pause for 5 seconds to examine your feelings, you'll spend 5 days trying to fix what unmanaged emotions broke up. Reset number three: choose stillness over attention. You'll see people online planning elaborate holiday parties. They're upgrading their wardrobe and they're attending all of these events and they're traveling everywhere. And all of that is fine if that's their lifestyle. But don't confuse all that activity online with a curated life. Sophisticated women make emotional peace their priority instead of party planning. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for that, but only if it's what you want to do. You ask yourself, what are three emotionally generous things I can do for myself before this year ends? Maybe it's cleaning your digital clutter. All those files on your desktop, that needs to come off of there. Or maybe it's having one honest conversation about what you've been avoiding with someone that you love. And maybe it's about you. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for the goals that didn't happen this year. That's how you create real momentum, by restoring your emotional environment before adding more tasks on your list. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud, though. Fall is emotionally complicated. The air gets cooler, but the expectations for the season, they heat up. You start thinking about everything you didn't accomplish most of the year. You think about who we've lost, what hasn't changed, and what you feel might be missing from your life. And social media only magnifies all of those feelings. It makes you believe that everyone else is living in a lifestyle of perfection while you're just trying to stay together. You're trying to keep it together emotionally. What about the quiet sadness and the emptiness you feel when the holidays start approaching? I mean, we all get it. I have a family, I have people around me, but I still get that little pang once I start seeing those commercials come on in September. But let me tell you this, you haven't failed to manage your emotions just because you have those feelings. What those feelings are your emotions telling you that you need to recalibrate. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and save the crushed in spirit." That means even in your tiredness, even in your overthinking and your quiet loneliness, God is right there with you. Your job isn't to pretend that you're fine. It's to pause long enough to find where God is leading you next. So let me ask you a question. What would this fall look like if you didn't have to fix everything that we just talked about? What if you just tried to feel differently about it instead of trying to fix it? You don't need a perfect plan. You need emotional empowerment. And here's the powerful thing about clarity. When your emotions calm down, your decisions get sharper. Your body relaxes, your communication softens up, and you stop living in survival mode. This is why I always say emotional resets aren't luxuries, they're leadership tools. You lead better when you feel confident within yourself. So before you rush into all of the activities to end out the year, take a day to reintroduce yourself to your own peace. And you can make stillness your success metric, because what good is achieving all the things that you work for if it costs you your emotional peace? If you're ready to understand exactly how your emotions are wired, take the emotional sophistication map at davinadandridge.com. It'll help you identify where stress, triggers, and exhaustion start for you before they take over completely. Then use the self-gut check method to learn how to evaluate your emotions with strategy and not shame. And if you haven't read Brains and Baubles, Do What Works for You, it's the perfect fall read. It's not about hype, it's about emotional clarity, confidence, and the discipline to build peace in a real life. Because this season doesn't have to drain you, it can refine you. And you don't need to reinvent yourself for the new year. You just need to reset how you move through this one.